Hi, you are welcome to another Microsoft Excel tutorials. In this video, we are going to learn how to create multiple worksheets in this Excel workbook. As the secretary of your institution, your manager comes to your office and had a discussion with you about this data or this worksheet, and he was insisting that we should get a separate worksheet for all these employees that we have in the company so that we can keep their individual or personal records in everybody's created worksheet. And looking at this data, we have this employee information, we have employee ID, employee name, phone number, hourly wage, hours worked, and also salary. And your manager is insisting that we should have separate worksheet for these employees in the company. And if you want to know the number of employees in the company, you can select all these names. And when you move to the status bar, we have count, and the number over there is 25. It means that we have 25 employees in this worksheet. Therefore, if you want to manually create different worksheets for these employees, you can move to the sheet tab and click on this plus sign. Then you have this default name given to this worksheet. Therefore, you can double click to select and type the name of the employees in this worksheet. Then you hit the enter key. You create another worksheet till you get the number of 25 worksheets for these employees, and that is going to be a very boring work or operation you are going to do. So in this video, we will learn a simple way to create multiple worksheets on our sheet tab using a very wonderful feature in Microsoft Excel known as pivot table. So let's delete this worksheet. And now let's move to our main worksheet. And to do this is very simple. Select any data or any cell in this worksheet. Then you move to your menu bar. We have this insert tab. Let's have a once click on it. And we have the first group under the insert tab, that is tables group. And the first option is pivot table. When you place your pointer on the pivot table, you have the screen tip as easily arrange and summarize complex data in a pivot table. So this perfect and important feature can help you to easily arrange and summarize your data, whether your data is complex or not complex. So let's have a once click on this command. You are going to have this beautiful dialog box, and it says create pivot table. When you come below, we have choose the data that you want to analyze. By default, Excel has detects your data, and you can see we have this running borders around this data. And still, if this is not to your satisfactory, you can manually select the data you want to have as your pivot table. You can select this, then drag over all this data to select. You can also easily do this by the keyboard shortcuts. So you select the first cell, hold the shift key and the control key plus the right arrow key, and that is going to select the first row. Then you hold the control plus the shift plus the down arrow key, and that is going to select all cells beneath the first row. Now that we have our data selected, we come to this section that says choose where you want the pivot report to be placed, and we want to use this existing worksheet. Therefore, we select this option and choose a cell in this worksheet. Now let's click on OK. Now you have this pivot table fields. By default, if you click on the OK button, this field will be found at the right side. I have intentionally moved this field so that I can have so much control over this dialog box. So if you click on the OK button, by default you are going to see this dialog box at the right pane. So you can also reposition it, as I have done, by clicking on the title bar and moving it from this option to any area of your screen. Now that we have this dialog box, it says choose fields to add to reports. Now below this search box, we have employee ID, and that is the first column. we have employee name, and also we have employee phone number, hourly wage, hours worked, and salary. So these are the column headers of this data. Therefore, we only want to create this multiple worksheet on the employee names. So what we do is we select this employee name, drag it into this filters field, and release the mouse. Now that we have this done in our worksheet, we can close this pivot table dialog box. This is the report that we want to depend on and create our multiple worksheets. When you click on the drop down arrow, this is going to display all the names under the employee name. So you can see we have all this name here. So you go through and check if all the names are in this field. Now that we have this, the next thing that we are going to do is you select this employee name, you move to your menu bar, and we have pivot table analyze. You click on it once and you have this option as pivot table. Click on the drop down arrow, you are going to have this menu and we have these options. Click on this arrow as well, and you are going to have these three options. We have the options, we have show report filter pages, and we have generate get pivot data. We are going for the second option. You have this dialog box and it says show all report filter pages of the employee name. Because we have selected the employee name, this is going to display and filter out and bring out any data that is under this employee name. Therefore, if I click on OK, this magical operation is going to be done, and that is going to bring smiles on your face, because this is very simple to do than manually creating worksheets and typing the individual names of the employee. Now let's see this magic. Click on OK. Now when you move to the sheet tab, now you can see we have the names of the employees, and this is perfectly done using this great feature in Excel, that is pivot table. Now when you click on any of these worksheets, you can see we have this data available, and we want to take this off so that we can have a plain worksheet to create data for all these individual employees. So what you do is select any of these worksheets, right click and choose select all sheets. Now all these sheets are selected. We are going to deselect the main worksheet. So you hold the control key and select this worksheet. So you can see that this is deselected. Let's move to the first worksheet. Hold the control key and select this one. Now that we have all this selected, let's select this data and hit the delete key on the keyboard. Now when we move to all these worksheets, there is no data available. So you can easily create data in this individual worksheet and work with it. So you can see that this is very simple and also very quick to perform as compared to our traditional way of creating worksheets and also typing the name given to the worksheet. Hope this video was helpful. Please give it a like, and I shall see you in the next video.